my ears, I hear things better behind me than I do in front of me sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. It's like I can not hear somebody right next to me, and then I pick up everything when I'm on the approach. Like at the last tournament we bowled at, you could hear people when you were on the back of the approach, but as you started your approach, all the noise from all the pinfall, from all the lanes in play, covered up any noise in the back, so you didn't really hear it. Once you started your approach, I didn't hear anything other than the pins, and you're used to that. Um, but here it's very quiet. These pin spotters are very quiet.
So what do you think about bowling on strike?
Uh, I based on the results, I have to like it. I thought my pinfall was mostly true. Um, there were a few suspect shots. I think if you throw a good shot, sometimes the pinfall looks a little weird, but it's really no different than what you would have done on free fall pins. It just looks a little different. You still get the same result. Um, and on this pattern and on this lane surface, I think high flush works best. And I'd be interested to see if that's true all the time or just on this pattern. Maybe.
Well, they got two more string pin tournaments coming up, one in Waukesha and one in Indiana, and the kids are going to be bowling on them. And it'll be interesting to see if they get all the messages they're used to getting when that happens.
That's an equalizer for me because I'm not throwing at 18 miles an hour, and I don't have the rev rate. I don't throw pins around as much as some of the younger guys. I never have. But it will be interesting to see if they can get that because there's very little of that here. You need to throw a good shot and not rely on luck. And I think there might actually be um, on free fall. You get there are probably more lucky shots on free fall. You get things rolling over and just knocking a pin over that you might not get on this.
Sounds like you're saying it might even out the playing field a little bit.
It could. If you throw it 19 miles an hour and you're throwing stuff out of the back, that might not happen as much. It's going to be interesting to see. But I wouldn't hesitate to go to those if they were maybe a little closer or against the old guys.
Right.
It's a lot harder to keep up with the young guys.
So if there's another string pin tournament around, you would bowl?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You bowling Clearwater?
Yeah, I'm bowling Clearwater. Yeah.
Okay.
And you see the same guys are in the top four that you would expect on a free fall.
Exactly.
It doesn't change. It's kind of like that. The poker thing is well, it's poker luck. Well, why are the same guys always winning if it's luck? Not always, but you have three national champions here, right? At least.
Yep.
And that's not surprising at all. Who made the top four?
Yeah, 3 Hall of Famers
and a very solid player.
Right.
I just wish somebody else could have got Hess when he shot 250, 250 or whatever it was.
Well, you came from qualifying in 16th all the way up to heaven.
Yeah.
It looked like you were going to take out Hess.
Yeah.
And the big dog, and you'd have been bowling right here. But you had a great tournament. It was fun to watch you bowl. It's just unfortunately a bad break.
Yeah. Two bad shots.
I will see you in Clearwater.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
So we're just starting out here, this one-game match, semifinals. Tom Hess, 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, and just struck in the fourth. Ryan Schaefer starting out with the front three. Walter Ray with a 9 spare strike, 8 spare, or 9 spare, and now an 8 spare. Gary Alstott opened the first frame and a double. This is a one-game match. Ryan Schaefer with the front four. As Jeff just said, we have three of the players that we see every week in the finals with Tommy Hess, Walter Ray, and Ryan Schaefer. And it's no different. The greats always find the way to the top, and hopefully a player like Gary Allstott sneaks in and has got a chance to win a title. Ryan Schaefer kind of leaks that one to the right, but he's got kind of a unique rotation to his ball. He's got a high tilt, and then it got right. It seen the friction and came back. Normally, we don't see him covering that many boards, but it worked well for him, that shot. Tommy Hess needs to start striking if he's going to try to even put any kind of pressure onto Ryan Schaefer. Gary Allstott opened the first frame, but the next four. Bowling 7-time Player of the Year, Walter A. Williams. Obviously, he is not scared. I mean, most of these guys out here aren't scared anyway, just for the fact that we bowl each other week in and week out for about 16, 18 weeks. So it's kind of like a big senior traveling league for us, but you still have to bowl. And you're bowling against the greatest bowlers in the world. And Walter leaks that one to the right. 7 count, 2-4-5. Tommy Hess finds a way to throw a 3-bagger in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, trying to put some pressure back on Ryan Schaefer. Normally, I see Hess. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Pete Weber. The more frustrated or madder he gets, the better he bowls. And you can see that on his face because he hasn't been striking. Walter Ray just did something you don't ever see. He just chopped the 2-4-5. Ryan Schaefer with the front 6 looks like almost a late 4-9. It could have been a 4-9, but they both tripped to the back. Strings were not involved in that shot. Walter finally gets lined up and throws the second strike of the game in the 6th frame. Gary Allstott, Washington, Illinois. He owns 2 centers, I believe, one in Washington and one in Indiana. In Crawfordsville, Indiana. Washington, Illinois. I actually used to live there, believe it or not. Many, many moon ago. Now, you talk about you don't carry light hits. That almost missed the head pin, and he slides. The 4-pin comes back and hits the backside of the 2 and trips it forward, giving him a 5-bagger. Tommy Hess strikes in the 7th, giving him 4 in a row. He's got his work cut out of him because Ryan Schaefer's got the front 7. Oh, you got that break, tripping that 2-pin, leaked that one a little bit too far to the right. 7-10 for Gary Allstott. Not the leave you're hoping for when you got Walter Ray down. Looked like Tommy Hess made a move to the right, kind of scored it up a little bit. He got the next 5. 3 9 spares, 5 bagger. He's got a hot hand against him against Ryan Schaefer. Schaefer got the front 7 up in the 8th. Schaefer came in just a hair high, leaving a 4-pin. So he got a possible 279. Walter strikes in the 7th, gives him a double. Ryan, no problem converting that 4-pin. Ooh, a late fall by the 10-pin for Walter gives him a 3-bagger. He's got 84 in the 5th with the next 3. Ryan Schaefer up in the 9th. Pulls the trigger, striking the 9th. He's at a 279 pace. Tommy Hess at a 268 pace. Gary Alstott in the 8th, leaving a 10-pin. Tommy Hess is not giving up. He strikes on the 9th, and that gives him a 6-bagger. He finishes out in the 10th, 268. Definitely putting the pressure on Ryan Schaefer. Tommy Hess didn't like that off his hand. You could hurt him. He said something right at the foul line. He's like, darn it. He didn't strike. Leaves a 3-pin. So that best he can shoot is 247. Gary Alstott, 4-pin in the 9th. If he spares it and strikes out, 224 is his max. 234 max for Walter Ray if he strikes out. Gary cannot shut out Walter. Walter's up first. He can end this real fast. That's why the greats are the greats. They eventually find something. When they find it, they don't miss. 247 for Tom Hess. Just an errant shot, first ball in the 10th. Nine out for Schaefer would be a tie, but I don't foresee that happening. Oh, Messenger in front of the 4-pin? That's something you don't see. All Ryan has to do is convert this, and he will be bowling against the winner of Walter Ray Gary Allstott's match for the title. Walter he got his first one in the 10th. He just needs one more shot. One more strike in the 10th locks out Gary Allstott, and it will be Walter Ray Williams and Ryan Schaefer, depending on this next shot. Walter needs this shot to shut him out and leaves a 10-pin. Got that just a little wide. He spares this as 223. Forces Allstott to throw a double to win. Well, it is. Gary's got to throw all three in the 10th. Double 9 is a tie. But this is what players look for. You know, I got to throw 3 strikes against the greatest player in the world to win. I mean, how many times have people dreamed about that? This is the scenario. Gary Allstott up in the 10th. He needs all 3. Off his hand, looks good, and he got the first one. Gary taking his time. This is a big shot for Gary. It's tight. He's got a chance. High flush. There's 2. 9 for a tie, strike for a win. If he does not strike and gets 9, there is going to be a 1-ball roll-off if there's a tie. Off his hand, he's got a chance. It's going to be high flush. It's not, we have a 1-ball roll-off. We have a tie.
see we have a tie. So the rule is Walter is the higher seeded player. So he gets to the lane that he wants to bowl on, or two, choose the lane and give it to Gary the first time. So it's his choice.
One ball roll off. Walter Hayes chose to start on the left lane. Allstott needs to follow. If Walter strikes, Gary's got to strike. We'll just keep going till somebody falters. Walter Hayes strikes on his first attempt. Gary Allstott, to keep this going, has to strike. He has to match him. You literally could hear a pin drop in this place right now. Allstott off his hand. Looks good. 10 pin. Walter Ray moves on to bowl Ryan Schaefer for the title on lanes 5 and 6. Gary Allstott bowled an incredible game, and he pretty much can't throw it any better than what he just threw it. Unfortunately, didn't get the break. So now we have Walter Ray, Ryan Schaefer.
Here's the results from our top four. Ryan Schaefer over top has 259 to 247. And as you just saw here on lanes 3 and 4, Walter Ray Williams Jr. over Gary Allstott, they both had 223. And then Walter had the striking, Gary had the 9. So give us a couple minutes. We'll be ready to go for the championship match.
How you doing, Tom?
You doing all right? I got this.
a minute and a half for our final match here at Lehigh Lanes, the Lehigh Open, against Ryan Schaefer, who qualified fourth at plus 133, against Walter Ray Williams, who qualified seventh at plus 114. We are roughly 55 seconds from the start of this match. Guys getting in their practice. Walter going for title number, who knows, a bunch. Ten seconds left.
All fans, this is a championship match. This is for all the week. This is for everything they've done this week.
$3,000 first place, $1,500 second for this match.
And now the top two bowlers that remain. Let's give a hand to Walter Ray Williams Jr. from Florida. Bowling against Ryan Schaefer from Horseheads.
Final match. Walter will be starting the match on the left lane. Walter's first shot off his hand. You talk about high flush. I don't know if it gets any more higher flush than what he just threw there. But high flush works real well on these pins. Flush and high flush. The light shots, they do carry, but they're not as prevalent as they are on free fall pins. Ryan Schaefer, first shot on the right lane. Comes in just a hair high and slow. It was a 410, but the 4 just tips, leaving just a 10 pin. So next to me, I got Dennis Bush, co-owner of Lehigh Lanes. So first tournament on string pins. How do you think it went?
Tom, I think it went pretty well, actually. Most of the bowlers had positive feedback, which is good. Besides a little mistake I made in the beginning, but no, I think things went well.
You plan on
How do
having another
you?
one?
You bowled on them. What do you think?
I thought it was awesome. I would do it again, and I think it's. I don't see any difference. I just think you have to make better shots, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. And absolutely, we'd love to do another one. Hopefully next time they'll award a title for it. So we got Tom here. So he's getting his up front view, and
Yeah,
hopefully he likes them.
Are on string pins. Are kids tournaments.
Are the young ones,
Yeah,
yes.
so they'll get a different feel of how the pins actually fall with a higher rev rate.
Higher rev rate, a little more speed. I'm curious to see that myself. We have a couple bowlers here that throw it a little harder and with a little more rev rate. And Daniel throws consistent messengers. I mean, sometimes they come in front of the 10 and don't necessarily connect, but they are flying.
I did see a messenger today, and it slid in front of the 10.
Yeah.
Just like what you're talking about.
That's what we see a lot is they're going in front of the 10, not connecting as much as they used to. And I'm not sure that's a bad thing to have less messengers anyway.
Well, the tournament ran, well, I think, absolutely perfect. There wasn't any breakdowns. We didn't have anything go on. It was just a smooth running tournament.
Well, I appreciate that. We try hard, and we love having you guys here. And thank you for doing the commentary. And appreciate. I wish you were out there bowling and not up here talking to me. But
Well, I did get to bowl. I just lost my first round match, but that happens. At least I got to bowl.
you got the bowl. And listen, for your first tournament back after the injuries and all the stuff you've had to do, it's pretty good. So hopefully it continues in Clearwater. Right? Yes, I'll be in Clearwater. So hopefully we can bowl against each other there. Maybe cross. That would be nice.
That'd be a fun time. All right. Thank you so much.
Tom, thank you.
Well, it looks like we got a little bit of a hiccup in the start. Ryan 9 spare, then split. Walter strike. 8 count on this. Not real happy with the execution of that first shot in the second frame, leaving the 6-10. That is something that you don't see. Throwing that hard rubber black diamond, chopped the 6 straight back off the 10, and actually was going at it cross lane. So it's hard to believe you can chop a 6-10, but it just happened. So match 28 in the second for Walter, 26 in the second for Ryan Schaefer. If you're just tuning in, this is the first official PBA tournament on string pins, USBC certified string pins. 2 more to follow, 1 in Waukesha, 1 at EJ Tackett's place in Indiana, and Walter in the third frame just leaves a 10 pin. Tom Clark down here, commissioner of the PBA, to watch and oversee how this tournament is run and help decide whether these tournaments will be given a title maybe down the road. Right now, this is just a test tournament. No title to be given, no points to be given, just money. And the other 2 tournaments are going to be run the same way. They're not going to be given titles. And then they're going to look at all the data about string pins against free fall pins. And the PBA, USBC will make a decision if these are PBA worthy and to get a title. But we won't know that until all the information is in. And maybe if it does end up being a good thing, they retroactively go back and give the 3 winners of these tournaments a title. Ryan Schaefer, third frame, strike up. Fourth frame, Ryan Schaefer up left lane. It's a 2-pin match so far. Ryan with a double. Walter, a fourth frame ball. Looks like it's going high, but it's high flush for a strike. Walter Ray down about 8 pins in the third frame. A lot of bowling to be done. $3,000 first place in the tournament, $1,500 for second. Our next tournament is in Clearwater, the Johnny Petraglia BVL tournament at Maple Lanes. And the great Johnny Petraglia will be there. Walter Ray strikes in the fifth, giving Walter a double. Ryan Schaefer, fifth frame. Catches all of that one. 10 back for a 3-bagger. Still just an 8-pin lead by Ryan. Nobody jumping out, taking it. And you got 2 quality Hall of Fame players that are, have done this their entire life. It's going to be a fight to the finish. Ryan Schaefer, another strike on the left lane, giving him a 4-bagger, trying to stay in the lead because you never want to give Walter an opening. You don't become 7-time player of the year without making quality shots. Walter Ray answers the call by throwing a strike. He's got a 3-bagger, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Ryan Schaefer striking from the 3rd all the way to the 6th. Walter Ray throwing a brutal collision, I believe. That was high flush, giving Walter a 4-bagger. Ryan Schaefer throwing the hammer scorpion low flare. Ryan Schaefer up in the 7th with a 4-bagger, trying to extend his lead. Ryan with another strike, crossing 4th arrow, got that out to about 8. Didn't look like it was going to make it back. It was a little on the light side, but he got the break. Ryan Schaefer up in the 8th, crossing about 20. Out to like 9-10, but the ball just didn't face up enough, leaving a 10-pin. So it gives him 145 in the 6th. Strike in the 9th. Should be a spare up, giving him 165 in the 7th. Walter can take the lead with strikes in the 8th and 9th. Schaefer, flush on the spare. 165 in the 7th, 9 spare in the 8th. Possible 245 if he goes all the way out. .258 for Walter Ray Williams if he goes all the way out. Walter high flush in the 8th, 5 in a row. Walter is trying to shut the door on Ryan Schaefer. Eighth frame for Walter. Off his hand, looks good. He's walking it out. And he pulled the ripcord on that one. Ryan Schaefer gets a chance. He gets to finish first in the 9th and 10th, 245. He can't shut out Walter, but he can sure put some pressure on him. Ryan Schaefer in the 9th, foundation frame. He looked at that a little questionably, kind of gave a little laugh. He didn't think it was going to strike, but strikes in the 9th. Striking out gives him 245. He needs 3 in the 10th. Ryan's up in the 10th. This will be his first shot in the 10th. To help put some pressure on Walter. Looks good off his hand. He pulls the cord. First one. One thing about the string pens, there is no noise out of these machines. I mean, it is so quiet. You have to almost whisper here because everybody can hear what's been going on. And if you're a bowler with rabbit ears, you're hearing everything because it is unbelievably quiet. Schaefer for the second one in the 10th. Kind of stepped it out. Oh, there is a messenger that didn't go across. And it looked like the string stopped it. That's the first thing that we've seen. First time we've seen that today. That it looked like he could have had a messenger. It just didn't make it over there. That was the first time that we've seen that today. So a spare here gives Ryan Schaefer 234. And I'm quite sure that's what some of the people that don't understand the strings are going to complain about, that they don't get the message they used to. But, you know, that's bowling. It's just you make a quality shot, you get the reward. You don't make a quality shot, things happen. Walter Ray in the 10th, first shot. Ten pin, first shot in the 10th. 10 pin. Wow. 97, 217. Ryan Schaefer is the new champion here at Lehigh Lanes. Walter needed that first shot in the 10th. Leaves the 10 pin. Walter picks up the 10 pin, 217 in the 9th. I miscalculated. Hang on, folks. I miscalculated. That's my fault. Walter, 217. He strikes 237. Schaefer shoots 234. Walter could be your new champion. My mistake. Bad math. 7 to tie, 8 to win. Final shot in the 10th frame for Walter. 9, 236 to 234. Walter Ray Williams is your champion here at Lehigh Lanes at the Lehigh Open. Congratulations, Walter Ray. Everybody out there that's listening, thanks for listening. My name is Tom Carter. I enjoyed doing it. Hopefully we get to do this again next year at Lehigh Lanes. Until next year, folks, throw strikes, split the 8-9.
Chris and Dennis down for the award presentation. And of course, Mr. Tom, right here as well. All right, bowl fans, as a custom in the southern region, we always call up our second place finisher. So let's give a hand to Ryan Schaefer from Horseheads, New York.
Thanks a lot, guys. First, I want to congratulate Walter Ray. Obviously, he's the best ever, so there's no shame in losing to him. Great ball to Gary Alstott. It was good to see him in the Final Four. And great ball to Tom Hess. Anytime you can beat him, you accomplish something. Thanks to Dennis Bush and Chris Keene for having us. This is a really nice center, and the people are very friendly. And I enjoy bowling here. Thanks to Steve Taylor for running the tournament. It's not an easy job doing it by yourself, so we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Okay, without further ado, let's call up Mr. Walter Ray Williams Jr. from Oxford, Florida. Not too far from here, by the way.
Thanks, Steve. Well, a couple of years ago, Ryan and I bowled in the title match, and he got the better of me, so it was nice to be able to win that. Anyway, thanks, Chris and Dennis, for hosting us at Lehigh Lanes. The experiment with extreme pins is good with any. It's fun bowling here. I enjoy bowling here. Like said, had great bowling to come. And Michael Howden bowled really well yesterday. Fortunately, things worked out a little better for me. So, but obviously, I thank all my sponsors at Brunswick and Vice Grips and my shirt company, Compass Sportswear. Go. And thanks for everything, everybody, and see you around. Does this sound good, Tyler?
That's a first on string. Doesn't he have enough titles?
real ball.
I think the string might have gone.
And it's-
Yeah. I think there was a string in the way. But for some, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Well, hey, get Dennis really did stop it. And then while, so we just have to, that's the question. Are we okay with it? And I think that. Yeah, you get great skills. Right. You get one way or the other, but it doesn't. You get all three guys? Yes. Everybody. One, two, and three. Let's try it one more time. Try it one more time. 1, 2, 3.